Hello and welcome to this OzyForms Addon tutorial. Now, if you need to install the add-on and configure it, just click here, click on the OzyForms add-on, and then you click configure. The add-on will automatically run on the bottom right and check if the form is already connected with OzyForms. If it's connected, you can see here it says the form is connected. If you make any changes to the form, you just need to click synchronize and it will update the OzyForms platform with the data you've updated here. Then you just need to click on open my OzyForm account. In case it's the first time you connecting the form, you can choose to create a new organization or use an existing organization which is in the system, and then you just press connect. And just like that, you'd be connected to OzyForms. And that's how easy it is to connect with OzyForms. Once you've connected your add-on, you just need to click on open my OzyForms account and the OzyForms platform will be opened automatically. I have already logged into my platform, but you might be asked to enter your, just log in with your Google account. And once you log in, you should see an admin area just like this. So what happens is that once you connect your OzyForms, your Google Forms to the OzyForms platform, all the forms that you connect with the OzyForms platform using our add-on will come here under the connected forms. So connected forms is just a repository of all the forms that have been connected to OzyForms under your account. For example, I have one here called education history with the form ID, referees with the form ID, and the main details with the form ID. So for example, this is the main details form, and you can see it's here, the main details form ID. So the first, and you are able to actually click on this link to view the actual, the main form itself. So up here on the connected forms is where it's a repository of all your forms. To utilize the forms you've connected, you just need to go to the project section and create a new project. And the only details required is the project name. For my situation, I have a demo project here called my job application. And when I click open project, it will open the configuration section of that particular project. You're able to configure the project name, the description, and there are some extra details like the offline form ID. We use the offline form ID to collect data offline. So for this particular project, the form ID is 5224. And you also have an Android app and an iOS app coming very soon. So when you click on the Android app, you're able to download this, our OzyForms app from the Play Store and start collecting data offline. But once you get back online, you can post it directly to OzyForms and to your Google Forms response section. We also, the last thing we have here under the major main details of the project is the link. So this link is the link to your project. This is what you'll share to respondents when you need to collect data from them. And a QR code is what you can download and share it for people to scan and open your survey or basically your project without needing to cram the full URL. How do you utilize the connected forms? So under the Google Forms section, the main form is mandatory. You have to put the main form. For my situation, I've put main details. And optionally, because I want to share a survey for job applicants. So I have a main form, and optionally, I can include two extra forms, Google Forms, one to capture the education history and another one to capture the referees list. So the two extra form are called line items. So in other words, you can use Google Forms to collect main details and line items, which is not possible currently in the platform. Besides that, we have a branding section where you can brand the background color, the text color, the logos. You can define the welcome message and the text to start the survey, what you'd like it to be. And after you define all that, you are able to view the preview of the respondent is able to see a preview of what to expect when they start the survey. Also, after someone completes the survey, there's an optional completion message which will be given. There's an optional redirect text button, Yeah, this is the title of it, and it will redirect the user to which URL, and this is the URL to be redirected. And you have a preview of it, so you have a very good picture of what the respondent will see. You can also turn the project on or off in case you don't need to collect data anymore. You might decide to deploy your project as a form, basically a simple form to collect data, or as a chatbot, just to make the experience of the respondent better when they're giving their details. So for now, I'll put it as I want to collect data as a form. You might decide also to restrict the availability of this project for a specific period of time. So you define the particular date and time, and you also define the particular date and time for when it will end. You're also able to define specify a timer. So in case it's a quiz or something, you just put the timer on. You say how long will the timer last, and after the timer, the number of the duration allocated is over. What do you need the system to do? Do nothing or force the form to be closed. Also, you're able to restrict access of this particular project. You can say anyone can access the project or as specific recipients. And under the specific recipients, you're able to specify the email addresses of each of those recipients who are allowed. But if it's a lot of people within an organization, you can define the domain uh, of the people who are allowed. Also, you're able to restrict responses, the total number of responses you want to receive for this particular project, or you can also restrict the number of responses per person or responses per respondent to maybe you need 3 responses per respondent. And so that's how you make restrictions. Optionally, you're able to request the GPS location from the user respondent, but this is optional. It depends on if they accept to share. The last item I'm going to show here is the data sharing. In case you have an ERP system, we have an endpoint where you can put your URL, and this will enable you to, every time a project is filled or a project is completed by a respondent, we send the data to that endpoint URL. We're also able to send a copy of an email address with the respondent's details of what they filled uh, here. So you're able to specify many email addresses who you want to send emails to. You can also optionally send a copy of the respondent data to the person who filled it. You can also allow the respondent to download their data as a PDF. The last and not least item is the accepting payments. This system is also able to allow you to accept payments using within your project. This is not yet enabled for now because we're still testing the integrations. And just that is just generally how you configure projects, all the project configurations. As a demonstration, we are going to deploy this particular project as a form, and that's already defined. And within the form, I think I'll just require the respondent to fill the form in 5 minutes. So we essentially will display a timer for the user to show them how the countdown is. So going back to the details section, I just need to click on this particular link and we're able to start our survey. So as you can see, the details are here, my job application. The timer is 5 minutes. We are collecting data and the respondent is able to download the copy of their responses as PDF. So when I press start survey, and you can see we have a timer on top counting down. And the main details is here. So I just need to click fill the details. It will display a Google form. What is your name? I can say Timothy. My gender, male. Date of birth. Just say that and submit. Once you submit, the form will automatically close itself, or you can decide to close itself by yourself, and you can see the details are captured very well. And after finish that, you're also able to edit the details if you need to. The respondent needs to education history. I'm able to add one. The level, I can just say high school. The year, 1983, and I passed. So that details is captured. If I go, you can see that I'm able to edit or delete that particular response. Also, I'll add a second one, maybe college, the year 2000, and I failed. So you can see we have already captured two items within that particular um, line item. So those are two items. I can proceed to select the referees section. On the referees section, the name, maybe I can say email address is maybe pro whatever.com social referee, and that is captured. And I'm able to add a second one, and I can say maybe G, then I can see professional referee, and that is captured, and the form automatically closes itself. Let me just add again the year 2000, and I failed, and it's a bit. And so we already have two details here and two details here. So we're able to collect multiple line items per project. GPS location, it just informs the respondent on what is about to be collected, and you can allow the browser to capture the location. We already have a location, and then you can continue. Now we're able to submit our form. Once the respondent says submit, you can already see, thanks for filling the form. We're able to download our response data. So when I click download response data, the document is going to be generated, and you can see it's already generated here in the browser, and here it is. You can see all the details captured, the main details, the education history, and the referees. And that's how we're able to deploy our form as our project as a form. Thank you. You have an option of deploying the project as a chat, just to improve the user experience of the respondents. When you submit it as a chat, deploy your project as a chat, you're able to nudge the users by showing them progress on the chat itself. And also there's some things like showing motivation within the chat. So those are optional things. You can set it on or off. One thing to note when you deploy your project as a chatbot is that the system will only use the main form only. You're not able to capture line items. So that's something you need to bear in mind. Otherwise, everything will be intact. So I'm going back to the link. I'm going to click it. You'll see every details, the normal details. But once you say start the survey, you'll realize that the project is now a chat. Welcome to the main details, blah, blah, blah. Say get started. And it'll ask you your first question. And as you can see here on the form, we have your names, your gender, date of birth, and a unique serial number. So your names, I can just say Timothy. I submit. What is my gender? I can say male. So the date of birth, it's a timer. I'll just select whatever. And the chat has a provision for capturing GPS, so I'll just give the location. And then now you can submit and click to proceed. And my details are submitted. Thanks for filling the form, and you're able to download the responses here. So when I click OK, it's going to download it, and I'm able to see the details of my submission. One thing to note is when I go back to my responses section, for each individual responses, I can go to the last response and you can see what I filled, male and everything. I think, yeah, that's pretty much it about deploying your project as a chatbot. In case you have a workforce that works in remote areas with no internet connection, we have an optional offline form ID, which you can use to collect data offline. All you need to do is to download our app our iOS app is coming soon. On our Android app, you'll go to the Android Play Store and you're able to install the app from the Play Store on your Android device. Once you install the app, you should see an interface like the one I'm going to show here. This is the app. The app will look like this. And basically the app is something of this sort. You can see for each project, it has a unique offline ID. So what all you need to do is to come and add a new form. You need to type the form ID 554 and I'll just press download. So my form will be added into the offline app. And within this offline app, I'm able to open that particular form and add a response in case I'm on the site collecting data. So once you're on the site, it will open a questionnaire and you will start the questionnaire. What is your name? I can say Timothy. Gender is male. And next, I can select the time. Maybe it's M. And the form is done. And if you look at here, we have one form which is submitted, but on the queue which I've just filled now, we only have one item. So you can collect as much data as you need, and the system will keep the data offline. Once you come online, you can see here we have one notification of one item pending synchronization. I just need to click on that. And when I click on that, the data will be submitted both to the OzyForms platforms and to the Google Forms itself directly. And so that's basically how easy it is to upload data, collect data offline using OzyForms. After responses are collected, for each project, you can either open the project and there's submissions. You're able to see the number of submissions which have been made. You either click here or you can as well open the project, and within the project configuration area, you'll be able to see a responses section on the top right. When you click on the responses section, you're able to see a report of all the responses which has been given for that particular project, and you're able also to filter by the various fields and define the columns you want to see. And for this particular project, I might go to the second last item and view the details. And we're able to see the details which was captured, the date, time, the GPS location given, if there was a payment made, the main form responses details, and the education history captured, and the referees captured. And this is how easy it is to look at the report. You're able also to print it in any format you want, export as PDF or print. And that's how you access our reporting section in OzyForms.